We're gonna do a burst fade here, no C-cups. We're gonna start by creating our first initial guideline with the trimmer, not sitting in a hard guideline, a soft one, to make it easier on ourselves to blend that line. We start by making that initial shape that we want to create, and we also shave everything under it, leaving it nice and clean. That way we don't have to go back to it later on to remove any little hair that's left over. And now we're gonna move on to our shavers. We're gonna shave all the little stubbles just to make sure the haircut is nice and smooth and it pops out a little bit more. This right here is completely optional. You don't have to get it shaved. It could just be with the trimmer, depending on the client. Right here, I'm going down with the shaver. That's just to soften up that harsh guideline that was left over from using the shaver going up. Right now, we're gonna go make our next guideline about a finger's width with the lever halfway closed with no guard, keeping that same shape of the haircut. You can go over a couple times just to make sure that all the hair that you're trying to cut off is being cut off nice and even. And now we're gonna close our lever. We're gonna attack that bottom line, softening it up to get rid of it completely. As you can tell, we're not going all the way up about a finger's width. We're only going about half a finger's width because we have the lever closed all the way now. Next step is to debulk, so we're gonna grab our 1.5 open and we're gonna go right off the head to debulk all the unnecessary hair we don't need. Following the 1.5 lever open, we're gonna do 1.5 lever closed so we can start attacking that bottom line we had created with the no guard halfway. Moving on to the number 1 guard, lever halfway, we're gonna start softening that line we had created at first and blending it right into the 1.5 that we just did. With the number 1 guard all the way closed, we're gonna soften up that line even more now. You will see that I start flicking on occasions. The reason why I start flicking is just so I don't create another hard line right above where I'm trying to blend it. So when you use the corners, all you're doing is controlling what you were trying to blend. Moving on to the 0.5 lever halfway, we're gonna start going right off of the head, trying to blend that bottom line we created at first right into the 1 lever closed. Going back to the no guard halfway, we're going to start using our corners and we're going to start flicking out those little dark spots that we see. We're going to do the same thing with no guard lever closed. We're just going to pick out any dark spots that we see from that bottom initial guideline that we started with. With the trimmer now, we're gonna detail that bottom line using the corners. Once you find the angle on how to use the corners with the trimmer, you can really go and blend pretty much anything that you have. To create these lines, all you're gonna do is just mark your line and you're gonna pivot one side down, and then you're gonna refine your lines. You're gonna do the same thing right under it, not too close and not too far, so that it'll look nice whenever it's done. At this point, we're gonna go ahead and do our line up in the back. My client wants it in a V shape, so that's what we're gonna do. Line it up in a V shape right here. Moving on to the edge of right here, we'll brush it down, and then we'll start in this corner right here. Tap the line in, and you're gonna drag it down, or you can do it at a slight angle. When doing the vertical bars, you always want to pull instead of push. It'll give you more control to anticipate any movement or any sudden moves. Follow your lines with the razor to make it nice and sharp, nice and clean. And also remember to stretch the skin the opposite direction you are trying to shave or use the razor as. Once you repeated the same steps on the other side and clean everything up with the razor, this is going to be the final look. If you guys like this video, please comment and like. Thank you all.